Today, children put on caps and gowns in a place where play used to be normal and school bells used to ring. They walked forward, one by one, toward a small stage built from borrowed wood to receive a small paper, a diploma. And for a brief moment, hope crowded out the rubble. For a brief moment, the sound of laughter outshone the silence of mourning. For a brief moment, the war paused in the hearts of these children. More than 1,000 orphaned children took part in a graduation ceremony at Al-Wafaa Orphan Village in Khan Younis, a rare day of celebration in the middle of a catastrophe that never seems to end. Most of these children arrived carrying photographs of the parents who would never clap for them again. They clutched them like sacred relics, like talismans against forgetting. A father's face taped to a cardboard frame, a mother's smile fading on a folded piece of paper, ink and memory standing in for touch and embrace. And when they held those pictures high, the crowd fell silent. For in those images were entire worlds lost, entire families erased. Inside the hall, there was the smell of dust still clinging to gowns that had been stored away for years, waiting for this very day. There were balloons, bright red, sky blue, yellow, hand-blown by volunteers whose lungs carried both fatigue and faith. Teachers straightened caps on tiny heads, their hands trembling, knowing that this moment might be the only normal moment these children would ever have. One boy, no older than 7, kept adjusting his sleeves, murmuring to himself, as though practicing the words his father once told him, "Stand tall, my son. One day you will make me proud." But today, pride arrived only in silence. His father was gone, and yet somehow the boy stood taller. Graduation here is not only a rite of passage, it is a declaration that life continues, that memory remains, that dignity matters, even in ruins. Each diploma handed to a trembling hand was more than paper. It was a promise that these children are not forgotten, that the world must not look away. One teacher, her voice cracking, whispered to a girl in line, "Your mother would be so proud of you." The girl, clutching her diploma, looked down at her shoes. Shoes scuffed, borrowed, a size too large, and whispered back, "I know, she told me in my dream last night." Dreams here are not just dreams. They are reunions. They are the only spaces where families are whole again. Al-Wafaa, the orphan village and school, was founded to shelter Gaza's forgotten children, to give them not only food and lessons, but the fragile miracle of childhood itself. For years, the staff worked against impossible odds, patching broken walls, sharing electricity from car batteries, teaching beneath bomb-torn ceilings. Yet they endured because they understood something simple and profound. When you protect a child's laughter, you protect the future. That afternoon, the stage became more than wood and fabric. It became a shield against despair. Each name called, each diploma handed, each cheer that erupted was an act of resistance, not with weapons, but with tenderness, not with destruction, but with celebration. Outside the gates, Gaza remained scarred, the roads broken, the air heavy with the smell of smoke, of dust, of things lost. But inside the courtyard, for those few hours, there was color, there was applause, there was music, and children who have carried grief heavier than their own bodies were for once carried by joy. Somewhere in the back row, a little boy held his diploma upside down. He didn't care about the words written on it. He only cared about showing it to the photograph of his father, pressing the paper against the smiling image as if to say, "See, Baba, I did it. I kept my promise." That same week, elsewhere in Gaza, schools were not hosting ceremonies. They were hosting families, displaced, hungry, wounded. Classrooms had become shelters, chalkboards turned into lists of the missing, and yet, here, in this small corner, there was music, there was song, there was life, stubborn and unyielding. Why tell this story? Because images of children in graduation gowns are small, stubborn lights in a world that too often turns its face away. Because when war tries to erase futures, a cap and gown declare, "We are still here." Because dignity is not a luxury, it is a right. Each diploma handed to a trembling hand was more than paper. It was a promise that these children are not forgotten, that the world must not look away. A diploma may seem like only paper, a name, a date, a line of ink, but in Gaza it is also a declaration that these children are more than statistics, more than headlines, more than casualties. They are students, they are sons, they are daughters. They are the future that war cannot fully steal. And so we end here with a plea. Share this story. Carry it beyond the rubble, beyond the borders, beyond the silence. Because silence is what allows war to continue. But bearing witness, truly seeing, that is the beginning of change. Support what sustains them. Food, education, shelter, hope. Be a witness and do more than watch. Because when 1,000 orphan children put on caps and gowns, they are not just graduating. They are reminding the world that even in the darkest night, a light remains. And it is our duty, all of ours, to keep it burning.